Hi, everyone. I just want to do a quick demonstration of this first exercise. This is going to be your expressive selfie pic. And I've got a photograph of myself that I'm going to start with. I'm going to go to Photoshop and open it in File Open. Let's see. Here we are. Okay, I've got my file open. I've asked you in this assignment to adjust the size of your photo. So I'm going to use the crop tool from the toolbar, and I'm going to adjust this to a very specific size. I want to make mine 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. So I've got my width and height and resolution up here. So 1000 by 1000, mine's set to 300 pixels per inch. That automatically changed my crop box on the picture. So I'll just, drop this down a little bit, get most of myself in the frame. Okay. When I'm ready to hit accept, I'm just gonna do return or enter on my keyboard, and there we go. I've got a nice square picture, exactly the dimensions that were requested. Now, for your expressive selfie, we're gonna do this so that we are adjusting the color. And when we adjust the color, we're going to use our adjustment layers. These are in the layers tab. So if you look on the right-hand side of your screen, it's probably down, at least halfway down the side. And at the very bottom of that little window are the adjustment layers. You can use these, as the other video pointed out, to make things look more correct, to make the color look better, or you can make it to be super expressive and kind of go wild with it. I mean, imagine if I really push the darks and the lights. I can go in my levels here. I'm adjusting right now the RGB, that's red, green, and blue. But let's go in here and say I just want to affect the reds. Oh, I could make a nice bluish green color. I could obviously push the reds in the other direction and make it more red. This feels more like me. I really recommend playing around with these tools, slide them every which way, see what you can do with them. I'm going to go down and make another adjustment layer to add on top of that. Maybe I will do something like curves. In this case, I'm over here in the curves graph. It's basically just a graph. They call it a histogram. And I'm going to adjust this curve. I can go way up. I can go way down. I can go for like super noir here. I can sort of punch up and down things on either side of that curve. So every time I touch it, I'm leaving an anchor point for that adjustment I've just made. And every new adjustment adjusts something different in the image. I kind of like that. So looking a little extreme. Notice that in your layers palette, you have a visibility icon for each layer. So I can turn that on or off to get a sense like, do I like that better or not? Okay. And I would just suggest going through and playing with as many of these as you can till you feel like you've figured out how to express a little bit about yourself. There's no right or wrong on this particular assignment, as long as you've used 2 or 3, maybe 4 different adjustments. Try to get at getting rid of my magentas or the reds if I want the whole thing to be sort of greenish. There we go. All right. I'm really just sort of playing around with options here till I get something that I really like. Okay. Once you're finished, you should see in your layers palette your original picture at the bottom, probably labeled background, and then each layer that you've added, each adjustment that you've added with the visibility option to turn on or off. They don't all have to be on. If you've tried some and you don't like them, just you can leave them and turn them off. Whatever you submit is going to be that's visible is what I'm going to consider like your finished selfie. I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to do a save as. I want to save this as a new file. And I'm going to ask you all to always start your files with your last name and then whichever project it is. So I'll save it as selfie.tiff. Save. When you get to the TIFF options here, don't worry about that. All the defaults are going to be fine for what we're doing in this class. Click OK. I'm asking you to submit two files, though, so you're also going to do a second file where you're going to need to choose Save a Copy. Save a Copy will let you save a version of it that doesn't have all this information, doesn't have all the layers in it, but is easily shareable. So in this case, we're going to go with a JPEG, perfect for a photographic image. I'm going to make sure it has the same name, .jpeg. Click Save. Again, the JPEG options, that's about quality. We can come back to that, but basically I'm just going to choose the default. It's on the higher end. Okay. So now I've got two files, a JPEG and a TIFF. The TIFF gets uploaded to your assignment module. The JPEG gets posted in the discussion boards.